When you think of a leader, what comes to mind? Maybe someone giving powerful speeches, making big decisions, or leading a team to success. But here's the truth. Leadership is not what most people think it is. Did you know that 60% of employees say they don't trust their leaders? Or that nearly half of all CEOs feel lonely at the top? Leadership isn't about being the loudest in the room or having the sharpest suit. In fact, it's often the quiet, behind-the-scenes actions that truly make a leader stand out. In this video, we'll shatter the myths about leadership and dive into what really makes someone a great leader. You'll learn why listening is more powerful than talking, how failure can push you forward, and why being vulnerable is the secret to stronger connections. Ready to find out what no one tells you about leadership? Stick around, because what you're about to hear might just change everything you thought you knew. Chapter 1. The silent power of listening. Many leaders believe they have to speak to inspire, but the real power lies in listening. Research shows that listening improves team performance by 25%, HBR. When a leader listens actively, they gain insights that drive better decisions. It builds trust, creating a space where people feel heard and valued. Listening doesn't mean just hearing words. It means understanding emotions, challenges, and perspectives. In fact, leaders who listen are 60% more likely to retain top talent, McKinsey. Listening allows leaders to see patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed. Instead of assuming they know the answer, they seek to understand the problem. This opens the door to innovation. For example, companies like Google foster a listening culture by holding regular feedback sessions. Leaders often forget that the smallest detail can lead to a game-changing idea. Another power of listening is its role in emotional intelligence. Studies show that 90% of top-performing leaders possess high emotional intelligence, which is often cultivated through deep listening. Leaders who listen also build rapport, leading to stronger relationships with their teams. The more people feel heard, the more they are willing to give their best effort. The key is to avoid interrupting. Studies show that the average person interrupts someone every 12 minutes, Psychology Today. Leaders who resist this habit create a culture of mutual respect. And listening doesn't always mean waiting for your turn to speak. It means being fully present in the moment. If you can't recall the last time someone shared something important, it's time to rethink how you listen. Chapter 2. Fail forward. Embrace the art of messy success. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. The world's top leaders have failed more times than they've succeeded. Bill Gates once said, "It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure." This mindset is crucial. Leaders who fail fast and learn faster often create the most groundbreaking changes. A 2016 study by the Harvard Business Review found that leaders who embraced failure were 50% more likely to take bold risks that led to success. These leaders view setbacks as opportunities to refine their approach. Elon Musk, for example, faced multiple failures with SpaceX and Tesla. But each failure became a stepping stone, not a setback. He said, "Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough." Leaders who embrace failure don't hide from mistakes. Instead, they share them with their teams, creating a culture of openness. A study from Gallup revealed that employees are 25% more engaged when they feel their leaders are open about their own failures. Failing forward also means adjusting quickly. A study by McKinsey found that agile teams, which fail and adapt quickly, outperform traditional teams by 30%. The faster a leader learns from failure, the more resilient they become in future challenges. Leaders should focus not on avoiding mistakes but on how quickly they can adapt when they happen. It's about the lessons learned, not the fall itself. This shift in perspective turns failure from something to fear into something to embrace. Chapter 3. Leadership is not a role, it's a responsibility. Too many people think leadership is about the title, but it's about the responsibility. True leadership starts when you step up to solve problems, not when you point fingers. In a study by Korn Ferry, 74% of employees said they would rather follow a leader who takes responsibility than one with a prestigious title. Leaders who focus on solving problems, not securing status, foster loyalty. One example is former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz, who prioritized solving problems like employee benefits over expanding profit margins. Schultz's leadership led to a 10,000% increase in Starbucks stock value. His secret? Taking responsibility for every issue, big or small. Responsibility means being accountable for both successes and failures. It's about creating a vision and taking ownership of seeing it through. Jeff Bezos often speaks about how Amazon's success is directly tied to leaders taking responsibility at every level of the company. He once said, "Leaders need to be willing to make decisions with the information they have, and own up to the outcome." In fact, leaders who take responsibility inspire their teams to do the same. When everyone feels responsible for the company's success, productivity soars. Gallup's data shows that companies with accountable leadership experience 14% higher employee engagement. The shift from a leadership role to a leadership responsibility is a game changer. This doesn't just empower the leader, it empowers the entire team. If you're enjoying these insights, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with more leadership tips that can change your career. Chapter 4. The Hidden Emotional Labyrinth. Leading with vulnerability. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but in leadership, it's a strength. Leaders who show vulnerability build stronger connections with their teams. Brené Brown, in her book Dare to Lead, argues that vulnerability is essential to courage. When leaders admit they don't have all the answers, they gain respect, not ridicule. Leaders who are open about their challenges make it easier for others to do the same. This creates a culture of transparency, trust, and mutual respect. For instance, Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, openly shared his struggles with empathy and self-doubt, which helped reshape the company's culture. Since his leadership shift, Microsoft's stock has tripled. Leaders who embrace vulnerability also become more adaptable. When a leader admits their limitations, they create space for innovation and feedback. Research shows that organizations with vulnerable leaders are 30% more innovative than those without. Leaders can use vulnerability as a tool for growth. It allows them to seek advice from others, foster learning, and build stronger relationships. Leaders who are afraid to be vulnerable, on the other hand, risk creating a toxic culture of fear and competition. Being vulnerable doesn't mean sharing everything, but it does mean being open when it matters. It's about building trust and showing that leadership isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Chapter 5. Leading with Intent. The difference between action and impact. Leaders who act without purpose often create noise, not impact. It's not enough to just be busy, the key is to lead with intent. Research shows that 63% of leaders who set clear, intentional goals outperform their peers. Intentional leadership drives impact by aligning every action with a broader vision. Intent also means aligning your actions with your values. Leaders who do this build a culture of integrity and direction. Take Patagonia, for example. The company's commitment to environmental sustainability is not just a marketing strategy, it's at the heart of its leadership. CEO Yvon Chouinard's intentional leadership led Patagonia to become a globally recognized brand for ethical leadership. When leaders act with purpose, every decision becomes more meaningful. This helps them prioritize what truly matters. Intentional leaders also inspire their teams to adopt a sense of purpose in their work. According to Deloitte, employees who find purpose in their work are 40% more productive. Intent also helps leaders stay focused during tough times. When challenges arise, leaders with a clear sense of purpose are more likely to lead their teams through crises. This is why companies like Apple and Amazon have thrived. They are led by individuals who always have a clear vision in mind. Being intentional means taking the time to reflect, align your actions, and lead with purpose. It's not just about doing things, it's about doing things that matter. Chapter 6. The Loneliness of Leadership. The hidden price you don't see. Leadership often comes with a hidden cost: loneliness. A 2018 study by the Harvard Business Review found that 61% of CEOs feel isolated, and this isolation can lead to burnout. Leaders are constantly faced with difficult decisions that leave them feeling disconnected from others. Despite the facade of strength, leaders often find themselves without a support system. This is particularly true for high-level leaders who can't easily share their concerns with their teams. In a survey of 200 executives, 80% reported feeling isolated at the top. However, great leaders don't shy away from this loneliness. Instead, they learn to turn it into a tool for reflection. Winston Churchill, one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century, often retreated into solitude to clear his mind and regain focus. Loneliness also allows leaders to develop clarity and focus. Without constant distractions, they can think deeply about their goals and strategies. This time away from the hustle is often when the most creative ideas emerge. While leadership can be isolating, it's important for leaders to surround themselves with a circle of trusted advisors. Leaders who embrace their loneliness, but don't allow it to overwhelm them, are the ones who thrive in the long run. If this video has helped you see leadership in a new light, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more insights on becoming the leader you were meant to be.